All right, kids, let's talk about something that is brand new to Mikey's game, something that I've never had before. Let's start with yesterday. Yesterday was the day I had the hole-in-one right here. It's been 2 great days. Absolutely crazy, never happened before days in my life in golf, and that's why I feel it is necessary to discuss them. Today is 7/15/2020. Yesterday was 7/14/2020. I started off with a bogey, and then I had a birdie, yeah, and then I had an ace, right? So I'm 2 under. And then on the following hole, I was off the green, and I putted maybe an 8-footer, had a birdie, and then I had probably about a 15-footer and drained it downhill for a par. And then I had a birdie, par, and so bogey, birdie, hole-in-one, and then birdie. So I'm 4 under, 3 under, and then 4 under right here with this one. But then I gave 2 back. Not that big of a deal, right? So I end the front at 34. That's not bad. 36. And by the way, this is from the blacks. It's right around 72, 73. I'm 34. I'm 2 under. And then let's go ahead and start the back. So I went par, 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 par. I was still 2 under, doing really well. And what I was saying to myself was, I'm kind of coasting. It was kind of a brain dead 2 under, where just 6 months ago, even a year ago, I would like struggle to stay at under. I would struggle to stay at even. Forget about under. So to stay at 2 under and not even think about it was just, brain dead. It was great. So then I come up to a par 5. This is a tough one. I ended up bogeying it. But then on the last one, I had a 9. Okay? So I would have been 2 under, and then coming to this one, I bogeyed it, so I'm 1 under, and then I had a 9, so that put me at 5 over, 37, 42. Yeah? So 42 and 34. Actually, I'm not going to do the math there because I have something else to discuss. 34, 4, 6, 76. Yeah, this is a par 73, so I was 3 over. 76. That's not bad. The 9 was kind of ridiculous. I mean, when I got to this point, it was already 8 o'clock, so I was trying to rush through to hurry up and finish it to see where I would end up, see if I could stay at under. So by the time I got to here, it was already dark, and I just made a mistake. I kept bumping and running up a hill, which was really steep, and then the ball would just roll down, and then I bumped it up again, and it rolled down, bumped it again, rolled down, and then finally I got on, and I 2-putted, or maybe 3-putted. It doesn't matter. The point is I was at 76, not a big deal. But then let's talk about today, my friends, okay? Today is 7/15/2020. This is something I've never done before, guys, and this is why it's so important, why I'm even making this video, okay? I started at birdie, birdie, and then I had a par, and then I went par, par on a par 3, yeah? And then we came up to a par 5, and I put it green side, and then I putted maybe about a 20-footer, 22 feet off the green, and I drained it for eagle. So that would have been an eagle right there. So at this point, I went birdie, birdie, par, 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 eagle. So I'm 4 under now. Here we go. Let's continue. And then I went 4 and went to hole number 8. Again, this is kind of this hole that kind of gives me issues once in a while. And I bogeyed it. Okay, so now I'm at 3 under. Yeah? And then on the 9th hole, I ended up going up into a hill. Sorry, I don't have any footage. Blobbity, blobbity. I went up into a hill. I had to take a unplayable. I put it on and 2-putted for a 6. Okay, so I ended up at 35. I'm still 1 under. Still 1 under. and I was playing with a buddy named Gary, who I play with a lot lately, and I told him, this is great to be under after 9. You know, it's disappointing that I was 4 under and I gave it back, but one thing that I know in golf is that you have to learn to give it all away and then to get it back. And that's an acquired skill. So I told Gary, my goal is to get the strokes back. I was at 4 under. Let's get them back, right? So let me circle these. So that's a birdie, and then I have birdie. And then a bogey, so that's a square. And then this is a double bogey, so 2 squares, right? All right, so here we go. I'm 1 under, right? Let's continue. Then I went par, still 1 under. Okay, and then I finally gave it up right here, and I bogeyed this one right here. I tried to get up and down. Maybe I had a 3-foot putt, and I missed it. So now I'm even. I've given it all back. I was at 4 under. I gave it all back to the field. But on the following hole, I had a par 3. I put it to about 12 feet, maybe 13 feet, and I birdied it. Yeah? So I'm 1 under again. Then we went to a par 5 that is pretty easy, but I didn't birdie it. I got a par. I made a couple of mistakes, not a big deal. Okay, on the following hole, I had a par. I birdied this one right here. I stuffed it to about 3 feet, had a downhill putt right to left, stuffed it. Then we went to a par 3. I parred that one, and then finally I had on a par 5, I stuffed that one to about 4 feet and I birdied it. 4, and finally the last hole on the day, I had another 4. Yeah? That's a good looking card, guys. Aside from that 6 right there. Okay, so here we go. This is 1 under. This is a bogey. Yeah, so now I'm even. Then I went to 1 under, 2 under, 3 under, and 4 under. I brought it all the way back. So I shot a 69. Is that right? Yeah, 69. This is, by the way, this matches my personal best. I've shot 4 under on 2 occasions. I've never quite had it like this. The first time I shot 4 under, I had 8 birdies on the day. No eagles. That was at Riverside. It was the first time I had shot under in my life. I was 4 under with 8 birdies. The second time I was 6 under. After 7 holes, I ended up giving most of it back. I ended up at 4 under. It was still a great day. But today is significant, guys, because I gave it back to the field right here. I was at 1 under. After being 4 under, I gave it back. I was at 1 under, even, and then I got them all back. 1, 2, 3, 4 for a 69. So Gary and I were talking afterwards, after the round, and it's kind of like what's happening to my game. It's kind of like a lobster, or a crustacean. When you look at a lobster will grow to a certain point, and it's got a shell that is protecting it. It's got a hard shell. What happens is a lobster will outgrow that shell with years of life and years of experience. So what happens is it molts and it becomes that shell. It will end up ripping open that shell right through the molting process, and it will come out a bigger lobster, and then it develops another shell, and that shell ends up hardening, and it keeps that shell for a certain period of time until it needs to molt again. What is happening to me now, my friends, is I have molted to a point where today was a 69, and it was a brain dead 69. Gary and I were talking about economy and finance and money and mortgages, and we were just shooting the shit pretty much. A brain dead 69. I've never been able to say that before. So what you're looking at is a brand new shell over my body, over my swing, over my golf game. And that is really good. That's really all I have to say. I'm just really happy. This is my personal best. I tied it. These are really good things. You guys all know that 65 is my goal, to shoot 65. That has been on my goal list for a few years. And this is the number I need to be around consistently in order to play professionally. 68s, 67s is where I need to be. I'm headed that way. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Oh yeah.